Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with SWIFTWIND. I am so happy to finally have SWIFTWIND here in my hands. Living in the UK, I do have to wait that couple of extra days from you guys in the US, so I get to see your reviews here on YouTube and then eagerly await the arrival of my figure as your reviews whet my appetite for them. But I have to say, when it comes to SWIFTWIND here, the excitement of waiting for him has been mixed with some trepidation, because I've heard that there's a whole batch of SWIFTWIND out there in the world that have two right front legs or two left front legs. I forget which is which, but I'm going to open SWIFTWIND here to find out if my darling SWIFTWIND is bothered by this same affliction or if he is perfect. Before I open this box up, I just want to point out on the back they have the promo about the Create a Character contest. Are Mattel flogging a dead horse with this contest now? Has anybody entered this contest or know who anybody who has? First I was intrigued by it and thought, oh cool, I would enter that, and then I realised that you have to stick to the regular Master Universe Classics parts that have already been used, which is a whole lot less exciting to me. So anyway, let's get to opening SWIFTWIND up. There is SWIFTWIND, looking grand. And before anybody says anything, yes, SWIFTWIND is a unicorn with wings coloured like a rainbow. It's probably the gayest toy you could ever own, but quite frankly, I don't give a shit, and I am proud to own him. So let's see if we can get a shot of his legs here. I'm not sure if there's any way of telling until we open him if he has correct legs, or if those are two right legs, two left legs, whatever. I am going to open SWIFTWIND up. So here is my SWIFTWIND, and I have two things to say. Firstly, he has all the correct complement of left and right legs. All the crossing of fingers and toes I did in these last few days has been worth it there. And secondly, the second thing I have to say is, wow, I love this figure. It's bright, it's colourful, the sculpt is amazing, and it looks like it stepped straight out of the Filmation She-Ra cartoon, and that's what I love about it. Out of all the Master of the Universe Classics figures, I've been a fan of the She-Ra figures the most, or the figures that came from the She-Ra cartoon, because we haven't had anything figure-wise that looks remotely like anything that appeared in the cartoon. The original She-Ra doll/figures that came out in the 80s had barely any resemblance to the cartoon whatsoever. So it's great to get toys that I wanted so desperately back in the 80s when I was a kid watching She-Ra. I mean, not only is it a great sculpt, there's also a surprisingly decent amount of articulation to this figure. And if you are a customizer like myself and are ever looking for a horse to use as part of a custom project, then this is probably your best bet, as it's likely the most articulated horse that you could find, And secondly, it's just straight up articulation. There's no gimmicky play features that some of the Lord of the Rings horses have, say. So getting into the articulation, of course, the wings articulate, they flap back and forth. And they also rotate around. The wings are removable. I won't remove them because one of them was a complete bitch to get in. I had to kind of wrestle Swiftwind around the floor to really push the wing into the hole there. I think it's this wing here. It still feels a little bit stiffer than this one. And then the legs feature multiple points of articulation at the knee. And there is a tiny bit of swivel on them as well. And then there's up and down at the base of the neck, and also a bit of a swivel from side to side. And then the head also up and down. And then back here, the tail also goes up and down. Which does mean that you can stand Swiftwind on his hind legs using the tail as support, which is cool. So you can put Swiftwind in a pose where he's rearing up or maybe about to take to the air. That's pretty cool, huh? Just bringing you in close now so you get a look at some of the detail in this figure. The wings are amazing on this. Very detailed. Let's turn Swiftwind around. So pleased with this figure. I'm going to dig out my She-Ra, Pop She-Ra on Swiftwind here. So now I'm reuniting She-Ra with her Swiftwind, and the two She-Ras you see here before you. To save some time, I've already swapped some parts on them. So this body here is the original She-Ra figure that I've swapped the head, the cape, with the bubble power She-Ra. And the reason for that is that Mattel released the bubble power She-Ra so that she could spread her legs wide enough to be able to straddle Swiftwind. So the original She-Ra figure here that's now wearing the bubble power She-Ra accessories, due to her skirt being a kind of heavy plastic or rubber, she wasn't able to spread her legs wide enough. But bubble power She-Ra, or original She-Ra, she appears here. Now that I've swapped the parts, she's able to spread her legs plenty wide enough to straddle Swiftwind. How amazing does that look? I think I could only be more happy with Swiftwind here had I have opened him up on Christmas Day itself. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.